Finns know a thing or two about building boats of this type. Botnia, Sargo and Nordstar are all based within 150 kilometres of each other on Finland's west coast. The first two may have greater badge recognition on these shores, but the Nordstar name carries plenty of weight in Europe's northern extremities. So what does the 31 Plus bring to the table? It's just under 33 feet long and weighs in at 5.4 tonnes. Engines are all from Volvo Penta, with twin and single installations available, all running on stern drives. The starting price is a whisker under £235,000, including VAT, here in the UK. Our test boat, however, came in £2,000 short of £300,000. Now, despite its utilitarian styling, the 31 Plus is actually a bit of a driver's boat. So we'll start at the wheel. We're actually in perfect conditions for a boat like this. It's early October, there's a chill in the air, but with this you can just jump on board, shut the doors, turn the heating up if you need to, and still go boating. It's much quieter, but you can still get out for your pub lunch or go out for something to eat in a quiet anchorage, and you can do it very comfortably and stay nice and warm. Now this particular boat has got a single 400 horsepower Volvo Penta D6, and it performs really nicely. Top speed is around 34 knots, cruising speed 25 knots for about 45 litres an hour, and that gives you a cruising range of just shy of 290 miles. So pretty good going, really. And that's the thing, it's an efficient setup. You have that single stern drive, it's very slippery, very little drag, but it also gives you lots of grip. So it's a very enjoyable boat to drive this. It belies its looks, there's lots of grip, turns nice and quickly, you've got a nice amount of heel as well when you really turn hard, and it means you've got plenty of power coming out of the turns too. If you want a bit more speed at the top end, there's a D6 440. You can have twin engine options as well, but the D6 440 might get you a little bit closer to 40 knots, and you can cruise a little bit faster, maybe further towards 30 knots. But actually this feels like a really nice match for this boat, this single 400 horsepower. Something I really like about this boat is the helm and the driving position. The helm is so focused. There's nothing flash here, nothing gimmicky. It's just there to present you information in a clear and practical way. Now this boat's only got the one MFD. You've obviously got space for another one, which you would probably want, especially if you've got radar. It means you can display radar one side, chart on the other. You've also got the Volvo display down here, which shows a whole mass of engine information. You can configure that how you want as well. And one feature I really like is this standard phone holder here. Not only does it hold your phone in place, it charges it as well. And if you've got a navigation app on your phone like I have, it means you can present it really easily, and the person here in the navigator seat can control that easily as well. As you can see, you've got the VHF here mounted overhead. That's in a good position. It's very easy to pick up the receiver from this spot here just forward of the window. You've got the water level up here. I quite like to have an analog rudder indicator as well. You have got one digitally down here, but for a single stern drive you want to know where that's facing before you come into your berth. It'd be nice just to have a quick reference point up here. And though you've only got a couple of quite small cup holders here on the dash, you have got this slot overhead as well to hold loose items. Of course, another key thing about this helm area is the sliding door, because it gives you ventilation. You can lock it in various points of travel. You can have it here halfway or fully open, and now when it's calm it's nice just to get a bit of fresh air in here. And of course when you're coming into the marina, it means that you can easily get out to the side deck to help with lines and fenders. The driving position is excellent, so good in fact I thought I'd be standing at this helm, which you can do easily because they both bolster. You have an adjustable wheel, but it's so comfortable sitting down nice and close to the dash. You've got the armrest as well, so you can adopt a really comfortable position, but equally you don't have to stretch to reach anything. Even the plotter, you really have to lean too far, and the throttles fall to hand really naturally. Obviously there's a lot of glass in this wheelhouse, so the all-round view is generally very good, but if you turn hard to port you find yourself having to peep through the roof. These are one option. You can have a full width sunroof as well, which retracts electronically. It's quite a nice option as well, but these are a cheaper alternative. Now with the door shut it's nice and quiet in here, but with the back door open you do get a bit of engine din in here. You know, it's a big 6-cylinder motor just underneath the deck back there, and it does make itself heard when you've got the back door open, but when it's shut, really quite nice measured sound levels in here. Now obviously this boat's main rivals are Botnia, Targa and Sargo, and actually it feels very similar to drive, so you get that really nice combination of being able to plough through the rough stuff and do it very comfortably, but also
fantastic agility. That single stern drive means you just have a wonderful amount of grip. And it turns in a way that you just don't think it should be able to when you look at it from the outside. But it's really smooth, it's really predictable, it feels planted, it inspires confidence. You never worry that it's going to suddenly skip and lose grip or cavitate, spin its power away. You can do full lock hard turns, you get no slide. You sometimes catch the chine as you cross wash and you get a bit of a slam through the hull, but if you keep it straight and you go through the chop at a straight angle, it just demolishes it. But it does like to have the trim down a bit. It likes to have the bow down, so the forward part of the hull is cutting through the water. You may find yourself wanting to override the auto trim and getting that bow really slicing through to make the ride as comfortable as possible. This boat's practical nature is immediately obvious from here at the bathing platform. It's lined with this nice thick rubber buffer. You've got that all the way around the boat as well, so if the fenders don't quite catch you, you know that well. And then back here you've got nice tall railings here all the way around the boat to grab onto, even right here back at the transom. And this is dedicated storage space for the boat's fenders, so you can slot them in there. You don't have to fill up lockers with them, and they're clear and out the way. And you notice even down here on this hatch, this isn't storage, this is access to the stern drive. So if you're out at sea and you get some rope caught around the prop, you can easily lift the leg, reach through and try and untangle it without having to go into the water, which is a far better way of doing it, I can assure you. And then we step up here into the cockpit, and it's a bit more of a sort of leisure cockpit compared to the likes of a Boat Yachting, where you have room at both sides to get into the cockpit. Here you have this L-shaped seating, you only have access into the cockpit from one side, but it does mean you have this table. There's storage underneath this bench as well, nice and deep, perfect for chucking lines, life jackets, things like that. And this entire deck is engine room hatch, so the whole thing lifts up at the touch of a button, and then you have access to what is a squeaky clean engine room. And it's the walk around nature of this boat as well that is so attractive. As you can see, you can easily walk down these side decks, 1 foot in front of the other. You've got a railing that's nice and high to guide you all the way through. And one key thing about this latest generation of Nordstars is that they've got this little gap here right next to the helm door. So if you're on your own, you can get out onto the deck, and equally easy out onto the pontoon to put a line on, so you can do that as easy as possible even if you're on your own. And then we come right forward, and you don't have that sort of forward cockpit that you get on a Boat Yachting. It's a bit more of a traditional layout. Again, it's walk around, it feels perfectly safe. And then you have your anchor locker here, of course, really good access to this windlass. And what's nice to see is that inside this anchor locker, they've even lined it with rubber, so you can get the chain banging on the hull from the inside. Now, as standard on the 31, you get this pair of solar panels, and they mean that you can top up the service battery, running the things like the fridge, etc., remotely when you're out on the water without having to worry about plugging into shore power. Now, inside the wheelhouse, it's a bit brighter and more contemporary than you might expect, especially with this powder blue upholstery, sort of faux suede they've got here, and you've got the nice white Corian here on the countertop. It's a decent enough size of galley, and I like the fact that it sort of cuts in, so you have a nice walkway here forward through the boat. There are a couple of issues though. These drawers feel a bit cheap and nasty. They sort of wobble around and they're runners, and they're not soft closed, so they just slam shut. But you've got 2-burner hob, a good sized sink. Though again, I'm not sure where you're supposed to stow this when you're not using it. It's just a big piece of top to try and find a space for. But good that you've got a microwave, and you've got this fridge under here as well. And for you ask, no, this is not for all you pole dancers out there. This is actually a mount for the table. As you can see, it's up in travel mode at the moment, out the way, but obviously it comes all the way down this pole on its travel, and you can put it down here when you want to use it for dining. This is quite a nice little addition, this little flip-up seat they've got here. It's not really to be used for when you're going along, it's when you've got the table down. It means you've got another space for one person to sit when you're having lunch or dinner. Quite a nice addition. Anyway, onto the cabins. This boat's got 2, and this is what you'd call the master, I suppose. And just here, yeah, headroom's okay. You know, someone 6 foot, there's a bit of room above here. This boat's got a sort of a fixed double with an infill, so you can slide out a little panel here, put this cushion in, it makes the bed a bit bigger. But you can have V-berth in here as well, so you have twins that are a smaller size, but you've got more room between them. No hanging storage in here, but there is a hanging locker here, and that's a pretty good size. And of course, this is your bathroom. Again, headroom goes up there because that's where the helm is, so there's even more headroom in there. It's well lit too, there's a little bit of storage in there also. And the other cabin is back aft. Now access to that cabin is rather cunningly underneath the dinette here. This just flips up on a couple of gas rams, and then you've got this little hatch here, clamp that across, down we go. That's a bit awkward to get into, but actually once you're down, it's not too bad, especially on this side where headroom is okay, especially over this single berth. You've actually got a small double over that side, but that really is quite restricted by headroom and is a bit coffin-like. That wouldn't be particularly pleasant, but you've got a little bit of storage down here, no hanging storage, but there are a couple of cupboards down that end, and you've got some natural light because there are hull windows on both sides, and you've got this big window here underneath the door too. Thank you very much for watching our review of the Nordstar 31 Plus. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time we upload a new video. I'll see you on the next one.